Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Great that you're here. If you're new to cryptocurrency and you want to learn more about cryptocurrency, hit that subscribe button and hit that bell button. Do it right now. And we're going to talk about Bybit. Bybit is a new futures exchange, been around just over 15 months now. And I've been looking at it for the last 2 months. I've been watching it. I've been comparing it to Bitmex, and honestly, it is 10 times better. One, there's no server overloads. There's no def wicks. And it is a lot easier to use. Now let's look at it now. I'm going to go over this video what it is, what Bybit is. I'm going to talk about the £10 free or $10 free deposit that you get for just signing up without any deposit of your own. You've also got to look at how it all works, how the system works, how the stop loss system works, how to use a leverage and what it all is about, futures contracts, why is it so different? Because a lot of people don't understand that it is a leverage platform. I'm going to talk about that risk as well. We're also going to talk about how to be profitable. So at the end of the video, stick around because I'm going to go through a very profitable method that I used to grow my Bitmex account in the past. I grew it from 0.01 Bitcoin at the time. It was about $6,000 Bitcoin. That was about $50, maybe a bit more than that actually in the time. £50 I think it was at the time, give or take where we are right now. And that was from September time up to December, where we went through some massive dips, and I got some great gains from shorting the market and also going along with Bitcoin Cash at the time. And I made 0.27 Bitcoin from 0.01, so $50 up to about $1,000 in a matter of 9 weeks, just starting from low. And I'm going to start that all over again with Bybit, so you'll see my progress on the YouTube channel as well, and also on my premium channel. But we're also going to talk about risk management, leverage, and all that good stuff that you need to understand. So if you have never traded on margin before, this may be a great video for you to get your hands on to kind of understand the risk management involved and how it all works. So let's start. Right, let's give it the beans. Let's go for it now. What is Bybit? Bybit is a new exchange. It has been around for a while. It uses a cold wallet system, and it was actually established in March 2018. It is futures platform trading. It uses futures contracts essentially, and it has 4 assets you can trade in USD, which makes it totally different to Bitmex. Okay, now you've got Bitcoin USD, Ethereum USD, EOS USD, and XRP USD. Why is this different to Bitmex? On Bitmex, you've only got Bitcoin and you've got Ethereum, okay? These are used in USD values. However, XRP, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, EOS, TRX, etc. are all in Satoshi value. So the last month you've seen that the altcoins have bled to death due to the fundamentals of Bitcoin rising from 4,000 up to 5,800, whatever, over the period of the last 6-7 weeks. It's majorly made the shorting market pretty good, but ultimately that fundamental matter doesn't really matter with this because you're just trading the asset that you see. I want to go over it all, okay? So when you first get in, hit the link, right? Hit the link below in my channel, and what you'll see is a welcome message. Oh, hello, you can join this platform and you get $10 for free. All you do, and I'm going to go to the page now, you basically claim it for free. It's amazing. So all you do, you follow the instructions. You basically go. Now I've already done this. I've done my $10. I've played with it. I've also really tested the system. I've tested every leverage. I've tested everything. That's what it's there for. It's just to test, to use, to play around with. Get used to the system. You do not want to put money into this and mess up with the system because you will lose money. I'm going to go through all those disclaimers in a minute. Now let's look at this. This is quite important. You need to go to the Telegram group. You need to go to the pinned post, and you need to go and fill in the details. All you need to do is give them your email address and your username for Telegram. That is it. There's no bullshit with it. There's no other KYC nonsense you got to do. Within 24 hours, within your assets, you will have $10 of Bitcoin to play with. Now, one thing that is totally different, and I've not mentioned it just yet, is Bitmex is different. You put in Bitcoin, it becomes XBT. You can trade every asset on that. On this, you cannot. You only have to put in Bitcoin to trade Bitcoin. You have to put in Ethereum to trade Ethereum, XRP, and EOS and EOS. If you've got XRP laying around, you can put a little percentage of it in here and you can trade it. Grow your XRP. Same for Bitcoin, same for EOS, same for Ethereum, okay? Hope that makes sense. Now, let's go into the platform. Let's have a little look at it. I think it's beautiful. I think it looks awesome. And we're going to go to start trading. Now, I do not have a lot of money in my account because I've literally, as I said, tested the living crap out of it. Now, as it stands, I'm not logged in, but you can trade on the testnet as well. So if you want to trade and practice, do it. I recommend it hugely. But again, my link is below. You can get involved. And what I'm doing with the fees that I get from the links is my public Telegram in the pinned comments is going to be used as a tipping bot. I've got a tipping bot. I'm going to put Ethereum and Bitcoin in there, and people will get rewarded for spreading the word about my community. And it's all going to come from this and trading profits from myself and Lee. And what we're going to do is literally use it for events as well. So what if you don't understand what we do? We have an education platform and we do events around the country. So basically, people can run their own company, their own franchise in their own area, and percentages of that when we do big events will also go into it. So free beers, free drinks, free food, free events, all that good stuff. So we're going to be using trading profits from what we do, and also commission in terms of fees that you guys are using for using the platform. So it's really important that you kind of get involved, and I like giving it back to the community. I give enough knowledge as it is, and this is even more. So this is what you get if you're not logged in. So obviously it tells you here you're not logged in. It's really easy. The speed of getting an account is huge, but it looks stunning, and it is absolutely stunning. So I'm just going to quickly log in, and we'll go from here, and we're going to log in. Boom. Cushy. Let's go, and that is it. It's as simple as that. Cool, I am in. I do not have much money in it because I've literally tested it all. I tested the liquidation out. Great. You get an email, which is even better. But you should never be liquidated. You should never even go that far. But I was testing it on a volatile period with high leverage to see if every order would work, and obviously it did, because on Bitmex you get server overloads. I totally wanted to test that. I had to wait for a volatile period, and it was like a couple of days ago when we were hitting these highs and it was going mental. I was putting orders in all over the place, just with high leverage, 50x, 100x, and I was perfect. I was shocked. Bitmex, you can't even move a stop loss on Bitmex when it's like that. It's crazy. So let's look at it from the fine grained detail. But first, let's talk about risk management and leverage trading. Leverage trading is risky, okay? You've got to get, your head around the game of the maths behind it as well. You've got to understand that if you're using 2x, your liquidation is going to be different. Now, what a liquidation is where you lose all your funds essentially from that trade if you get liquidated, okay? It is margin. You are borrowing from the exchange to perform this trade. That is how it works. Now, you've got different varieties. You've got 2x, 3, 5, 10, 25, 15, and 100. 100x on Bitcoin. Huge, isn't it? So what that means is I could put on, say, $10 and you times by 100. You got a lot of money there to play with, and it totally changes the landscape of everything. And that $10 becomes 1,000. It's like, what on earth? It's wild, someone said. So, but that means that you've only got about $70, $50, maybe region of wiggle room. So if you go beyond that the wrong way, you're going to lose money, but ultimately your stop loss is going to be totally different as well. So we'll go through it simulation wise. I'll show you how it all works, but let's get to the nitty gritty of what you get. You get the chart, perfect, cool, it's all there, lovely. It's trading view as well, so you can put indicators on it, and we're going to go through that in more detail. The order book is nice and clean. You can also change the depth of it. Personally, I like to look at it from a longer time point of view, but you can move all these. I've not fully adjusted mine, but I'm going to move my whole platform around. So all of these icons here, all of this can move. So you can move it all around. It's fully adjustable. Depends on how you want to have it. Now, ultimately, the thing that I was looking at doing with mine is, let me just see. I don't know what that button does. Whatever. I want to try and change it so I've got this somewhere else, and then I can make the order area bigger. But it doesn't really matter, because what you can do is you can do this. You can change it to the full screen in a flash, really quick. And the same for the chart. You can make it go full screen, and you can see the full Monty. It's all there, nice and easy, and you just get the full image, the order book there, nice and simple. What you need to press, simple really when you look at it that way. Now, as I mentioned before, you can change different assets, but you cannot change in certain elements. So I cannot put this on because I've got no Ethereum. I have no Ethereum at all, but I have Bitcoin, so I can put on trades in Bitcoin. One thing you need to be aware of is it is very, very simple to use, and you should be looking at getting used to it first. Paper trade is great, but ultimately so is the $10 for free you can play around with, so you get used to the orders and how they all work. Now, liquidity is actually quite good. It's getting, you can see it's moving around quite a bit now. There's orders going in, so there's no real issues with that. But when you look at what else you need to consider about, there's funding rates. So whenever you've got an open trade, you've got to fund it. Okay, so every 6 hours there's a percentage that comes out of your staking balance essentially, and it will keep activating it because you are borrowing from the exchange. So let's have a look at how to be profitable. You need to be profitable in margin trading is by having a concrete method of entry and exit. You've got to be patient. You've got to understand the use of leverage and risk management. Do not be risking your whole bag because you're a stupid trader if you do that. Do not be risking money that you can't afford because you will probably lose it. You need to be able to paper trade a method that you've tested for months. And I'm going to give you one method that I've used in the past that's really, really good. It helped me grow my Bitmex account to a very large amount, but it also comes on the fundamentals. For example, if I looked at my chart now, and you can kind of see how Bitcoins went parabolic, I could put certain moving averages on there to show you a good signal to buy into a coin. There's plenty of different ways. You just got to discover what is a trend and what is not a trend. All you need to do is do that. Do not worry about the likes of Silicon or Chart Champions. Don't worry about them scalping and getting little percentages because they've got big bags. They've earned the right to do that. You should earn the right yourself. You should start from about $50 and move your way up in the world and just get profits. Just keep doing it. You could lose more trades than you win, but your risk management can be absolutely key and vital, and you're profitable. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about having 9 out of 10 trades right. You can have 6 out of 10 right, but your 4 that you've lost could be a really, really low risk in terms of how much you've got stopped out to the ones that you're winning. I go on that method. I trend trade, I trend follow, I do trend analysis, and I use it very, very well. And the first stop that you ever have will be your best stop. Do not adjust it, do not change it. Honestly, you will lose. Now, let's look at the TA, right? And we're going to go through this now. What you can do with TradingView on this. Now, if you never use TradingView, you should get used to it. It's brilliant. I'm going to go through a few indicators, and what we'll do towards the end of the video, I'm going to show you a really good method that I use. Now, indicators, you've got everything. You've got absolutely everything. You can put MACD on here. Oosh. Amazing. It works perfectly well. You can also customize it to make it look beautiful if you so wish to. I personally use columns. This is the older version of TradingView, so you need to kind of play around with it, but ultimately it's all there. Simple. Don't have to worry too much about it. Likewise, the RSI. Relative Strength Index. Cool. You can play around with it. You can make it pretty. You can do all kinds of cool stuff. Now, I personally hate that bit of background, but I also don't mind it looking a bit cool. Time frames, change to the 1 hour. Awesome. Looks quite neat and tidy. It's really, really simple. Again, other indicators you can have EMAs. You can have an EMA cross if you use the crossover method, personally what I like to use, or normal EMA. Simple. They're on. How easy is it? It's really easy. You've also got the likes of the tools. The Fibonacci works very, very well. You've got your long position. Now, if you have already got TradingView, you just open up TradingView on the other side, and you're just using the same ticker essentially for your charts. Now, again, let's go to the Fibonacci. You could put on the Fibonacci. No, you can't. Apologies. You know why I did that? I pressed the TradingView icon. But I have my TradingView all set up differently, okay? So I have my charts totally different. I will not be using this personally because I won't bother. If I just press this quickly, and I'll show you how I have my chart set up. Now, this is my username. If you want to follow me, feel free to do so. But if I go to my main charts here, you'll see that I have my stuff already set up and already kind of done for how I like to trade. This is obviously my Litecoin stuff. So I have everything kind of already on here for me. But if you do not want to do that, and you just want to use the platform itself, see, I have mine totally different. It looks a bit prettier, but that's just for my eyes, okay? If you want to use this, you can, and you don't have to pay for TradingView. It's the same system. All you got to do is do your TA from scratch essentially. Simple as that. Oh, nice little double top there on Bitcoin. Ooh, cheeky. Now, let's have a little look at some technical analysis tools that you can use. Everything. as I've mentioned, you can use everything. It doesn't matter what you use, just be mindful of what you're using and learn how to use it. Now this is probably going to stop now and probably go the wrong way. Your shortcuts work as well, Alt and H for your horizontal lines, so it's all there. Now let's put an order in, okay? I'm going to go long here just for the laughs. I'm just going to show you how it works. We'll do 10x leverage. I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do, okay? So you've got 10x leverage, the current price is 5627. Market price is this price here, 5625. If I just adjust this down to 5625 right now and do a 10x leverage position, it's saying the order value there is 12.6.6. This is a cost that you need to go for. This is the one you need to look at, okay? So I could put in 12, say $10 US with a 10x leverage. I've got like a $1 in my account, by the way, just saying. Yeah. And if I go long, confirm, my order is now submitted. Now if I just go back off here, it will appear in the active section here, okay, once it's, you know, as it is really. Now I just need that to fill. It's in the order book, it'll be in this period here, and it will get filled at some point. Now I'm going to try and make it so it does fill, so you can see what it looks like with an active order. So if I just go down, I'm in a position. So that's me in a position there. Now the difference is market orders, if you do a limit order, sorry, you will get paid to do so. Like if you do it like as in you put a random order in at some point, a certain price point that you want, it will pay you for it. It's a futures contract that does that. Now market orders, simple as that really, it'll do it at the market price, you will get bummed with fees, so don't do it. And conditional orders are a bit different, okay? I wouldn't worry too much about conditional orders. Personally, I prefer the limited market orders. They're just a little bit different, and you know, different trigger prices essentially. It doesn't matter. Market orders, limit orders, use limit orders. It's simple. Now, how does it work for stop losses and take profits? You can do it at the start of the trade. So as you've seen at the start of the trade, it comes with a box. You could have put take profit or stop loss. If you go onto the pencil icon here, simple, take profit. I can set a percentage of 75%. If I want to make 75%, it will go up to 6083 miles away. And if I press confirm, that would be my take profit signal. Now, I need to do this first. So if I just do this, that is where it would take profits. Because I've gone long, it would activate up here. Now, I could adjust this at any point. It's simple, really, and I'll show you how to do it. You can't drag it. It doesn't work like that on here, which is good because it can get a bit ropey if you're dragging them around. Now what you do is you just press on the little icon again and you just move it around like this, okay, and it gives you the estimated amount of Bitcoin profit you're going to take, and it'll just adjust it like that. Really, really simple stop loss system. It's great. Now stop loss, again, if you're looking to lose 15% of your bag, you just put a stop loss in there. And because we've gone long, it'll just put a little order in down there. If it hits that order, it will pull us out of the trade, and you will lose, how much was it? You will lose that much. Your expected loss will be that. You've also got trailing stop losses as well. You can use them where it'll trail below it at a certain price, and if it goes like that and turns back around, it'll hit it. So you can leave it running overnight, and we'll see. You can't see what happens really. So that is it. That's really, really easy, okay? Now again, conditional orders, you can start these. Basically these are your stop losses and stop limits, but personally I just use a pencil because it's easier interface. You get confused looking at that, personally I do, so don't worry too much about it. And when you see them, they will come on here, your conditional orders. So, you know, if I wanted to go long, just leave it there. I can make a little bit of money, not a lot of money because I've got a very small account, but as I said before, I'm going to put $50 in. I'm going to see how much I can grow it. And I'm the sort of trader that does well with low amounts because I play a certain type of game. I trend trade. I go for the big bags. I look for the big trends that are 30-40% and put a leverage on it. It's great. You can make 4 or 5 times your amount in a couple of months. But you need to start from a small base. You cannot do it all the time because there's times where you get stopped out quite a lot. But it's just one of those things. So, the end bit, the cool bit, let's show you how to win with some technical analysis and a basic method. Now I'm going to basically close these orders off just to show you. If you want to take your profits, you just put a limit order in and you press confirm. Okay, and what it'll do is it'll cancel your stop losses first, and close by limit order, close all your position, the amount that you've got, and at the price that you want to get rid of it at. 5624. It will set it there. It is currently being in the order for that price. Once people buy it at that price, my order will be ended. Simple as that. Make sense? I hope it does. So using this here, cool. It works very, very well. I'm going to teach you a very, very simple method that is often overlooked, and it is an EMA crossover, and it works incredibly well for longer term time frames. Longer term, okay? Do not do this on short terms. You will get burnt unless you know what you're looking for. Now, where are we? Let's have a look. Indicators you need an EMA. You need 2 of them, and I'm going to give you the very simple ones. Now, all you need to look at is the inputs. Now, you need a 10 and a 20. This is a real, there you go, my order has now been filled. Really, really simple. I lost a little bit of money on that, but you know, I'm just showing you how it works. Now, what you are looking for in here, now you can make this a bit neater. I recommend it. I recommend getting it looking nice and neat so you can see it in clear, kind of, I wouldn't go that thick. Let's look at a white and orange. Now, this is kind of what you're looking at. Now, the data isn't the greatest on here. Now, I'm going to make this bigger. When you are looking at going long on these, oh God, that's a big one, isn't it? It's a trend trading. You're looking at trends. Now, this is a downtrend. Simple as that. Obvious, I know. You get the crossover and you go into a downtrend, and it obviously trickles down. You have a really tight stop loss. Now, these wicks will kill you anyways, to be honest with you. So you've got to look at having a trailing stop loss. You've got to have it so it comes down and you're adjusting your position. Now, that entry there would be a really, really stupid one in my personal opinion. I think it would be a really, really hard one to gauge. But you use different time frames to get rid of it. But you need to look at certain degrees of angles of other indicators. Don't just go off this. I'm going to put other indicators on here in a minute. But as an entry point, this is like the gold standard, essentially. Okay, this is where it crosses over nicely. It retraces, finds support, and then you enter from support. Now, if you zoom in a bit closer on this region here, and you look and see what things are happening. If I don't know where my thing's gone. Where's my toolbar gone? That's not good, is it? Where's my toolbar gone? God damn it. Anyways, indicators. Don't even know where it's gone. Oh, that's bad, isn't it? Hold on. Refresh. Oh, there it is. My bad. There we go. Idiot. So, there we go. Right. So, from that point here, but you want to look at certain areas of retracements, and you look on the daily all the time. You should do anyways. So, if you put the Fibonacci on here, from this point upwards to this top, you will see, if I zoom in now, la 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 la. It's really fiddly when you're not on your own chart. You can see here, oh, it's back to front. What on earth, man? Settings are wrong, don't like it. Let me just change it all around. Cool. Oh my god. Yeah, so, oh my word. I give up. My settings are wrong, I don't like it. So if you're using TradingView, keep using TradingView, guys. So there you go. Yeah, it retraces all the way down to this 0382. It works perfectly there. And that would be your entry point. Okay, simple as that. You look for a crossover, but you don't FOMO in on it. You look for the crossover that's clean and you wait for a retracement. You would put a fib on it and you'd put an order in, or you'd ladder down and you'd wait for the bounce, and the bounce usually happens. Now again, if you look at certain elements as well, this is a perfect structure. If you put on here as well, I'm going to blow your mind a little bit maybe, I don't know yet, we'll see. Oh god, it's really, really fiddly doing it like this. If you go from the top of that wave and then down and across, that is a Fibonacci extension. It goes bang on perfectly. You can take profits here if you wanted to, if you were planning that area. Now, you could have planned that area as a potential profit taking area easily. That's kind of the one thing that I teach. Extensions are amazing. Now, this would be a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and then that's a big wave 5 up there. That one. And then we start again, essentially. Okay, but we're not looking at those advanced techniques. We're looking at a very basic crossover method. But another method that I also recommend is having an EMA 55 on your chart. Apologies. So again, get this out again. Change it to a certain color that you can kind of see a bit more clear. I prefer yellow for this. I use this one quite a lot. Now the EMA 55 is a great trend method tool as well. Once you are above that as well, as in all your moving averages are above it and your candlesticks are above that, enter a long position, or again a short position. Now you can see it here. Now the data doesn't go back that far, but let's just change it to a 12-hour time frame. It will look a bit better. So there you go. So if I zoom in, if I go, now I know it's fiddly on this, it's not the greatest, but you can see here you would enter a trade on this support area here, but you'd also have a stop loss just below it, okay, below these support areas here on the EMA 55. So that's another example that you can use. Again, you use that support as obvious support, and just below that you would have a stop loss. If you get wicked out, you get wicked out, it happens, but sometimes you're better off getting wicked out than it going like that. But ultimately, have a little bit of wiggle room if you can. And when it starts going up, you just go up with it. Go up with that EMA 55 if you so wish to, and you can, but you just be careful. Do not try and go too aggressive with your stop losses. You've got to allow the trend to hold, okay? Again, you can use trend lines if you so wish to, if you want to confirm it, but ultimately I don't. I prefer not to, because for me, that is my trend line, those EMAs, but you can, if you can find an area where it's got a couple of touches like this here, it's got what, one, it's got a wick touch there and a touch there, and it's holding as a trend. And obviously we moved after that point, we know that. So that is another method you can use there. You've got an EMA crossover of the 10 and the 20, which works very, very well, and also the EMA 55. You could only have, if you so wish to, the EMA 55 on your chart, okay? You can just have it where your candlesticks are above it and holding the support, and you can enter, okay? And it holds the support. You can do that if you so wish to. Personally, it's better having a slower moving average on with it. So another example, you can have the EMA 8. Oh, sorry, I keep putting the EMA 8 in there, I don't know why. You put the EMA 8 in there as well, just to mix it up a little bit, from the close of the candle, and you change the style to, say, I don't know, white. Cool. You can just use a crossover between that method, okay? So if I just go on to the 2-hour time frame, just to say, if I zoom in, that will give you an indication there that, oh, it's crossed over, cool, let's just go for it. The EMA 8 acts as a very, very good support as well. It's a really, really good element of, you know, support and resistance. You can get in on that, and you can sell up here at this double top region, or this triple top essentially, but technically here, double top. You can easily get off on them on that there, but you've also huge profits. Now, in terms of profits, in terms of what you got here, if I could, where is it? I've got all my tools set up in a different way, so it's easier to see. From this crossover here, you'd enter on one of these retracements. The huge gains, by the way, this is like 11% gains, or even up here if you start getting a bit tickly feet and you're like, oh my god, oh my god. If you've got a 10x leverage on that, you've made 80%. It's crazy, you know. So, yeah, profitability, this is how I do it. Now, when does it not work? Well, it doesn't not work, but there's times where it dips like that. Some of these aggressive drops are pretty crazy, and you've got to catch them very, very quickly, or find the good TA beforehand to do it. You're never going to catch the tops and bottoms, but you need to look at having other indicators on here. So have an RSI on. That is very, very handy, so you can see certain elements of a trend. You can see here momentum is gauging up, and eventually it pops, and that crossover happens. You enter as a trade on the 2-hour time frame on that one. And again, the MACD. The MACD is also vastly important. Again, you can customize that and make it different, but again, crossover here, we're bullish on there, and then it started to uptick just before, and we're still bullish all the way up. It works very, very well, but further education is required to understand how these all indicators work. But if you want a very simple method, I highly recommend having an EMA 55 on the bottom of your chart, because I think that is one of the best EMAs. But the EMAs and the numbers that I use are all Fibonacci numbers in reality, so I use the 8 a lot. I use the EMA 55. They work very, very well for trend trading. And personally, I also like to use the 13 and the 21 at certain intervals. Not all the time, but I like to look to see where they are. But also the 26 is very good too. It just depends on what you want in terms of your, you know, what you want in terms of profitability. So I hope this has helped. Now, it's just giving you an insight. And personally, I prefer the daily time frame. If you use this method on the daily time frame, you're going to get some more like shorter term you're not going to get big results, but longer term you will. For example, look at this, for example. It crosses over here. It retraces. Now, don't FOMO into it. These are on the days. You want to wait for a retracement. And I said before, get the Fibonacci out and find out where it could potentially go. If you miss it, you miss it. It doesn't matter. You'll always find another opportunity. So from this region here, from that top to that bottom there, go across, it comes right the way down, and it literally wicks and very closely hits the 618, which is a golden area. But obviously TA on here isn't as nice. And again on here, you can see the same. You can't see it as well, but once it crosses over, you're entering on here. And once it acts as support, cool, off it goes. The only reason when you can sell that coin is simple, when that crosses over again and goes below. Can't even see that. What is the point of using that? But again, my thing is not collaborated into my style. So I hope this has helped. This is a very, very basic method, but ultimately it gives you a sense of control. You will not be entering many trades if you use a daily time frame. You'll be entering maybe 4 or 5 per year in some cases, because this has been going on now for a while. Now look at this crossover here. Sorry, I had a fluff in my mic. So say from this crossover here to where we are right now, we're at 77 days. And there's no reason for you to sell that asset. Now ultimately you would have been in more profit here, come down, oh my god, twitchy feet, I'm at my entry point, oh my god, what's happening? Boom, off it goes. You're like, wow, amazing. But you're in a trend. You are trending up over that period of time. A trend is happening, that is holding support. And yeah, if it failed, you would have got profits anyways, because your entry point were down here. Yes, these wicks might have come very, very close to it, but you know, that's what we do, risk and reward. Again, you can speed this up. If you so wish to, you can use a 30-minute time frame. You can, if you so wish to, but I personally wouldn't advise it. Yes, you get some very good gains out of it, and you use a trend, get some nice gains over a couple of days, over this period of time. But ultimately, when it goes like this, there's going to be a lot of times where you're not going to be getting any clear entries. So just be mindful. The longer time frames on leverage platform is safer. It is also easier, but you will be holding positions for a lot longer. Okay. Now that also comes into factor with this. You got to look at the amount of money that you're going to lose over a percentage of days. Try not to stay in the trend all the time. Exit your position and re-enter if you can. Bag those profits and ultimately understand risk management. With risk management, if you've got say $100 on there, only risk about 10% of your portfolio, because you've got leverage to back it up anyways. So only literally, honestly, use a small amount, because if you get liquidated or if you get a big stop mishap or you cock up, you will lose a lot of money. Okay, so there we go. I hope you like this. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button. I know it's a very, very long video, but ultimately I hope it's given you some awesome value. Enjoy. Have a good bank holiday if you're in the UK.